Hello and welcome to Songs of Six, in my opinion, the most underrated city builder there is. And today I'm going to start a brand new settlement, empire, whatever you want to call it, in Songs of Six. That's about it. So stick along for the ride. I hope you enjoy. And thank you for watching. However, this is not a voiceover. I did just do that intro on the go, so I hope it wasn't too bad. But anyway, we start off, we need to pick a species. We have Kryptonians, which are kind of like orcs. We have Dondorians, which are basically dwarfs. But they're not short in this universe. Garthimi, ant people. Good old humans. Amoeba, which are like lizards. And Tilapia, which are like elves, but green. So the Kryptonians are good at farming. That's about it. They kind of lack a little bit with everything else. The Dorians are good crafters, but they hate everyone. Ant people are like kind of like the meat shields. Sorry to anyone that likes the ant people. Humans are smart but mentally unstable. I do agree with that myself. And lizard people, good all around, good fighting, religiously flexible, but they need to live close to water and they hate everyone else, and they don't farm. And the wood elves are what you'd expect of elves, to be honest. Good woodcutters, good hunters, good range combat, and hates everyone else, the usual. So, I'm going to start off with good old humans. You can't go wrong with them. And then once you've selected your race, you pick a little title. I've only got this one unlocked, which just makes my craftsman pretty good. But there's some funny ones, such as the drunkard, or the clumsy, or the incompetent. When you have the incompetent trait, it just makes all the other kingdoms pity you a bit. So if we generate a world, this is the current state of the world, not too bad. Now humans, they like temperature, which, as you can see, if I hover over a zone, the thing at the very top, temperate. And I recommend starting in an area with a river and at least one natural resource, just so you have something to trade. Which I don't think this map has an interesting spot, so no problem. I will just regenerate the map and it'll give me a completely different one. Once again, not a fan. Still not a fan. But this generation looks better. Still not quite there, unfortunately. I might just end up putting a 10 years later meme. Oh, hold on. Temperate and a lot of iron. This is like the holy grail of iron right here. It's quite, I'm not sure if it's quite a lot of mountain, which I'm not a fan of. But I think this is the spot I will settle. It is a temperate spot with a lot of iron, some open land, a forest, a mountain, and a fresh water. And once you click, your little village gets generated. And while that's cooking, you can see the map slowly forming around you with all the other empires and settlements. So for example, here is the city-state of Invertin. You know, it's a city-state when their nation name and their city name is the same. But if we go to something that seems a little bit larger, like here, we have the nation of Zwitzi, with very many settlements, and they are mainly Cretonians, or the orcs. And they have a mining town here, some farm towns, little port town. Now I'm here sandwiched in between Invertin and the Ducal Sublade and the Varix, which is great. And a very large empire here. This spans a lot of the continent. Oh, well, let's actually get into my town, which is just Wayford. That is what I called my town in a different playthrough, and it does carry over, so I'll need to rename it. But let's say okay to that and let the game generate. Okay, here we are. Here is a little piece of land. We have a large river running through the middle, a very large mountain here, and some mountains on the edges. Now it is probably in my best interest to set up my throne room near the woodland and the water. Water for better farming, and woodland just for ease of access to wood. And there is a dirt path engraved here. Or engraved, trotted, made, stepped on. So I think this nice little field here could be the foundation of my throne room. Now, when you start, you get 10 people. No housing. A little bit of basic supplies like rations, grain, livestock, stone, and wood. Now, the first thing I would recommend doing is building a warehouse. And if you don't like mud buildings, then you can switch it out right here to probably wooden, the most accessible thing at the start of the game. And I like making my roads 5 in width, which you could call a waste of space, but right now we have plenty of space, so that is not a problem. And just a good old little warehouse. If you keep clicking E on your keyboard, the thing expands. However, I feel like a suitable design would be something like that. That would give us 1,300 units of storage. It will cost 20 wood for the building and 36 for the crates, not a problem. And also a doorway. Now, turn on the time, they will start moving. This guy is sunbathing, and now he's working. He's clearly need a little rest. And while they're building that, I'll probably start planning out basic infrastructure. Just a little road. 1, 2, 3 in the middle. Just like that for now. Oh. And a speaker. Actually, a well would probably be more beneficial at this point in time. Just so you don't have to travel all the way to the big lake in order to get water. And they do actually wash up in the well as well. If you don't build a well and there's not a lake nearby or a river, then they will become very dirty, even on the little portraits. So that's always important. Now they're building that, the next thing I recommend doing is of course a farm. How are people going to live without food? Now as we get closer to the water, you can see the color turning more light blue. Rather than here, it's kind of like the density of the blue is bad and the color's bad, or it's darker. That just means build a farm near the water. You'll have a greater output of grain or whatever you're planting. Now I'm a little bit nitpicky with this part. I usually take out these edges just so it looks nicer. Just like that. One more here, and that will cost us 20 grain, and it will employ 3 farmers. So actually we could expand this farm. And there is actually someone skinny dipping right here. Hopefully he's enjoying it. I recommend building until you're just under the next number of farmers. So for example, if I built that would use 4 farmers now. But if I only add a row like this, No, mine now still use 4 farmers, but ever so slightly. So if I could maybe fit in something like that, and that will still only use 3 farmers, which helps save some labor. So farm right here. They all need to clear out the area though. And we have run out of wood. But a few trees near us as well. That should be done. But they have started clearing the area for the farm, which is great. And the warehouse is now built. So one thing I like doing is letting the AI assume how many workers I need for the warehouse. It just takes away micromanaging workforce on the warehouse. And first crate I will build, well, first crate I will assign to a resource is a crate for wood, crate for stone. One crate can store 80 at the very lowest level of the warehouse. Crate for bread, crate for rations, livestock, grain, 2 crates for grain. And that's about it for now. I don't have really anything else to store. So let them work on the field. Just skip time. Okay, great. Now that the field is up and running, as you can see, we have 3 farmers working diligently to farm. Now we have a bunch of people doing just about nothing. So how about getting housing for the people? We have 3 types of housing. Apartments, which they are very small and have 3 residents. However, they provide more privacy for the people. And then a house like this, which is my go-to one, as it's a balance of privacy and space efficiency, and a longhouse, which is just like a barrack. I don't really recommend those. But if we start our first housing district, which could go along the main road like this. I'll only build 2 houses for now. That's all we need. Along with expanding the road layout, probably by 10 downwards. Here we go. Now they should start working on the housing. And we only have 4 rations left, right? So at this point in the game, your farm's not ready, you don't have a bakery. How do we avoid starving? Well, the answer to that is hunting. These poor little sheep are about to turn into food. So before I do that, I will assign a crate to meat and wool, or cotton should I say. And once that's done, we can hunt. About 30 pieces of meat should be enough. And once that's done, a villager will go over here, slap them with a stick, murdering them. They are trying to run away. Hopefully he does catch them, which he does, and then they drag the corpses into the warehouse where they chop them up. We don't really have a butchery, so the primitive way is the only way right now. And now our people have food again, which is good. They won't starve anymore. Now, once these houses are built, a very interesting mechanic in this game is giving your people rights to own stuff. So as you can see, their houses right now, a bit bland, nothing really in there, dirt floor, straw beds, kind of uncomfortable. You right click on your race, because you can assign different privileges to different races. Yes, you can do racism. Here we have housing, and if we assign wood, we'll let our people have some wood from the city. Their floor will be wooden. I can probably demonstrate this if I give people the rights to wood. Wood is quite abundant right now, so it's not really a problem. Fell a few trees, and once that comes into play, they should grab some wood from the city, and now their floor is wooden, and they have better living conditions. And along with furniture, they get better beds. Fabric, they actually get like sheets for their beds and stuff like that. Jewelry, they get like fancier furniture, you can say. And pottery, they get some pots in their houses and they feel happier. But for now, wood is all I can probably provide for the people. Now, the next course of action is a carpentry to turn that wood into furniture. Going along with the theme of a high street, I will continue building along the main road. So a little storage for the actual produced furniture, a workbench, which can fit all the way up here. This will add 5 employees. We can have 5 carpenters at most, which is a good enough amount. That's about half our town. And an auxiliary station. This makes your carpentry work more efficient. So right now we only have 50% efficiency. So we only produce out of that 1.5. Sorry, we only produce 1.5, but now that I've added that, it goes up to 2.7 and one more. 3. Which is good. So let them build that. That is now built. And they will use wood and produce furniture instead. Therefore I can assign a crate to furniture. However, we do not need 5 carpenters at the moment. So here we go, here they are working away at the furniture. The field has actually managed to harvest grain, which is good. They should start hauling it into the warehouse, which they have. Actually, it doesn't seem like the first year harvest was very big. There's only 64 pieces of grain. But that should be enough to get us fed. So, as you can assume, we need to turn that bread, or grain, into bread. So, 6x6, again, just continuing with a nice and even theme. An oven, which is like a workbench. Put up against the back wall. A little storage. And then the auxiliary stations, which here we only need 1. Which doubled the production of bread. And a doorway. Go, let them build that, and then we should start producing bread. That is now built. As you can see, 3 wood for the fuel, and 18 grain will make 18 loaves of bread, which is very good. And I will actually expand the dirt road. And now if we look over here, we have an arrow, and that means people want to immigrate. We have 5 people wanting to immigrate, which, quite frankly, we need. So I will set an auto amount, which will automatically approve immigrants to the amount I set. So 20 immigrants is our first stop. For that, we will need 2 more houses. Along this street. That is now built, and I have just realized I made the crucial mistake of letting it get to winter without a hearth. A hearth is a very crucial thing. Without it, your people will freeze to death. Luckily, I caught on, so they can all go up and warm up by the campfire, get nice and cozy. Actually, we have 21 loaves of bread, or 20 now, which is 2 days worth of food. Which is not a great amount, but they are still producing the bread. However, we seem to have run out of grain. Actually, there is still a little bit of grain. And I will officially add 1 worker to the warehouse. Just so we can actually drag the grain over here. Now, we have 20 people. They all immigrated. And The only way is forward. So, more houses, more food, more people. Quite a simple formula. That road. Here we go. They've upgraded their flooring to wooden. We do actually have a little bit of furniture made by the carpenters, and I will assign more people to the carpentry since we do have a greater population now. And give the people rights to some furniture. It won't be much. Like, people would want 80, however I'm probably only able to give them 25% of that. And once that happens, now they have a table, actual beds, a chair, a little lamp, and as you can see, it kind of just adds up. And then eventually, on the greater scale of things, we'll be able to make an army and expand outwards. But it's still quite a while until then. We are still a little village with 20 people and a dirt road. Now, the next thing we need is research, so a lab, which we haven't actually unlocked yet because we need more people. So, access, people, wrong button, population. There you go, we're gonna auto-approve until 30 immigrants. Going up in 5s, good because the housing goes up in 5s. And now we have unlocked the lab. So, we go ahead and just put down the lab. Might put it down on this side now. And if we get a few stations, and by a few I mean quite a lot, as research is very needed in this game. Here we go. Now we'll be able to store 14 workers, which is a good amount for now. Build that. We'll actually use furniture, but we have plenty of that right now. And we are running out of wood, so this little piece of forest has to go. Perfect, wood has been restocked and overflowing. Now we just need to wait for 3 more pieces of furniture. 1 more. And we now have a lab. Now labs work quite differently in this game. As you can see, we get 17.5 research. And that's not per like day, that's like permanently. So we get those 17 points, we can allocate them to whatever we want. However, the only way to get more is building more labs with more scientists. And for example, if I got some research and my lab burnt down for whatever reason, I would lose those research points and lose the research. So maintaining your labs is key. Now, once again, all we need is more population. However, I'm feeling a little bit decorative. So I'll go ahead and expand the road here. However, for about... how big is this? This is... if I could... 13 wide. So, along with... actually, I won't do it to this area here. We just make it nice. Make it 13 wide. So up to... this is 5, so we need 8 more. And this will be a little market square, which will have entertainment and other things of the sort. Along with, of course, more housing the further down we get. 13 it should be. Yeah, 13 more down, which is so they can get working on that along with a few more houses. We'll do one side of the street for now, and we will approve up to 50 immigrants. One thing I'm noticing is we are starving. I've neglected food and brought in too many immigrants. However, our harvest this year should be about 7 times larger than last year, which should be enough. So for now, I will sustain our town with hunting. We should go grab the sheet, and we have just received a huge gift from the king of the Varigs. And they won't actually like us if we take their gift, but we need it. They've decided to give us a bunch of tools, which, funnily enough, I'll just sell right back to them. I allocate a few spots in the warehouse for tools. There you go, 197. Now we need to find the highest buyer for these tools. They have the largest population, they'll probably be the richest. Now if we offer them all the tools we just got from the other person, but ask them for money instead, and we just made 12 grand. Which is not much, but it's more than the 0 we had. Now some meat should be coming into the warehouses, which is not occurring for some reason. Have we consumed all the meat already? Or am I missing something? Nope, not a problem. We can always hunt more. Subject has become sick. Can't do much about that. Yeah, we've just instantly devoured the meat. However, bread is now being produced, so we should be fine. 8 jewelry. Everyone loves giving me gifts. You already know what I'm going to do with that 8 jewelry, but... just gonna sell it straight away. It's not something we need, and it is just rotting in our warehouse. So once again, if we head over to Burton resources, you can have this and you can have this. For some money. Food is not looking very stable, which is a problem. However, we have more sheep to hunt. And they've just devoured that straight away. Okay, one thing I've noticed that we can get going, I just took a screenshot on accident, is a cotton farm. Now this is very self-explanatory. It's a farm that farms cotton. So if we go ahead with this, we'll be able to start weaving cloth for the people, and then also turning that cloth into housing, not into housing, into clothing. But as you can see, we have a bunch of grain now. We just need to turn this all into bread, which we are eating quicker than manufacturing, which is quite a little problem. That just means we need a bigger bakery or another bakery. Both work. So along here, if I go 3, 4, 5, 6, yep, something like that. Did not mean to take the walls off. Go hell, oh hell, go ahead, go and double the oven, not go. Oh, we can't fit that in, unfortunately. Maybe in the next life, but put that there. Celery oven. As of right now, we have way too much grain, not enough bread. So let them build that. 60 pieces of gems. Thank you very much. Well, I think it's kind of obvious what will happen to those gems, but they don't need to know. Actually, we can probably sell them right back to them. I think the gift was from him. Diplomacy resource. Yeah, you can have all these gems I just miraculously found. Oh, and you can have these tools, which I'm struggling to get rid of too. Thank you very much for your cooperation. What do we need for here? We need stone. Not a problem. Clear rock. Well, this should be cleared. And we are actually missing a house. We have 5 people without a home. So, brand new home. There we go. Speaker. This is like the medieval way of getting news around, I guess. 2, 3. If we go 3, 4. Is that even? That is even. Great. if we continue with the road, now we have just someone standing here yapping about the latest news. But now an actual market would be nice. Go ahead. Something like this for... That's 2 and then 2. Actually, I feel like I'll shrink this. 1 on both sides. Here we go. That's just the goods market, and then we do need a food store, which is basically the food market. Which will both hire employees, and now people will come over here looking for a snack, which 4 bread is currently in the market, or over here looking for furniture or wood or whatever they need at the moment in time. How's the cotton farm progressing? Very well. That means we can support a weaver. So a good old loom with a good old storage and a good old auxiliary. Just good old everything at this point. But here we go. That is now a weaver, which will turn cotton into cloth, and our research has actually come through by now. So the first course of action will probably be a tailor, because I don't believe tailors are unlocked by default. Or they might be, or I can always just search it up. Tailor. Oh no. We do actually start with a tailor. Well then, I will invest into a Globdian Pasha. These are the only source of getting eggs. So, and humans, one thing they really want is eggs. It's their preferred food. They like bread and eggs, you know, the good old human breakfast. Well, looks like the weavers have moved in, so I can assign a crate off of gems onto fabric. Along with that, I will make a tailor to make clothing. So storage, workbench, sometimes it does fit nicely, sometimes it doesn't. And auxiliary station, along with 2 doors. And finally I can start planning out a Globdian pasture. Now pastures, best way around them, or best way about them, should I say. Somewhere with a big open field. The bigger the better. But you also don't want to go too crazy. The 25 by 25. Along with, they need a gate. Here we go. This is where the workers will come in and out from. This pasture will probably be moved eventually, but for now, it'll do the trick. And now the most expensive part is the huts, which I only need 2, but they are 80 wood each, which is quite a lot. So if we click construct on that, they should start building, but I'll probably need to carve out a little bit of this forest just to be able to afford that pasture. And food is kind of unstable, but it's not tragic. Another very good way of getting food is just simply fishing. This building's kind of finicky. You want to get as much of the little fishy icons as you can, but not as much land because it wastes farmland, if that makes sense. So something like this might look odd, but it's how we fish. But we do need a storage and once again an auxiliary, which we will need quite a few of for a fishery. That That should do the trick. Oh, that did delete our storage, unfortunately. Oh, it's back. Now, if someone was skinny dipping, they do come swim around occasionally. But the pasture is about to be built. We had some stone we need to clear out the way first. Now they get to building. While they're building that, I feel like the town finally deserves some decoration. So, flower beds are a very nice decoration. Something like this could be cozy. We could actually go for something like that and then put a tree in the back. Or add a design. And then some good old benches, you know, to enjoy the view. Oh, that bench is a bit too big. If I go bench. Here we go. And now this area should receive a glow up. That is very pretty. Sadly, it's a bit dark now, so trying to see it will be a bit of a pain. But I might replicate the design on the other end. A few trees. And torches are very important. Never forget those. A torch here and here. And the plaza is coming about slowly. When it's spring, the flowers do bloom and they go from green to like the white ones here. Oh, this guy's dirty. They need to take a shower. As you can see, they have mud on their face, which happens when they have not skinny dipped or showered or washed in a while, just like this guy here. And the pasture is about to be finished. There you go. And because of that, we need more workers. So I'm going to auto until 60. That should 65 actually. That should finish my need of needing workers. But with that, we need more housing. So that should be getting built. We are actually missing a few houses. I might need to expand the neighborhood. I think I'll do the one at the bottom first. But yeah, eventually I'll get better like paths, better everything. And the town will slowly shape up. The hearth will be nicer, the well will be more luxurious. We'll have an army and we'll start taking over the land. As you can see, there are some workers of the pasture and a few of the Globdians. Right now we're producing some meat, some eggs and some livestock because we only have 2 animals in here as of right now. But as time goes by, they will mate and there will be more animals and the production will increase. But yeah, food is looking pretty good. Everything pretty successful, I would say. The town is shaping up. So I think I'm gonna have to call it here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you do check this game out. And I do actually want to say the game has a free demo, which surprisingly is the full game, just one version back, which is very, very kind of the developer. So if you legit want to play this game, you can, pretty much for free. You just won't have like features from like 2 or 3 months ago. So that is quite nice from a time where developer greed is quite frequent. But yeah, also quick little notice, I have made a Discord server for my YouTube channel. If you just want to hop in there, say hello to me or something, literally whatever, you can join. The link will be in the description. That's about it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.